You in person is amazing. You're a hard person to lock down though. Way too busy for my taste.
I'm really happy to get my book. I'm looking forward to reading it, and I'm looking forward to following Baye more on Facebook. Thank you. It was a great party.
I read the first book and loved it, and actually it's so nice to see all of you here now because I convinced him to come and do a reading for the first book, and we were so excited, and it was like him, me, and 3 people. I always remember when I read Baye's books and read his blog is that I think he embodies the yin and yang of the Chinese expression, may you live in interesting times. I feel like Baye lives in interesting times and he shares those interesting times with all of the rest of us. And it's a joy to know him, and I'm very proud to be the place where he's launching his second book. So,
yeah.
So, Yes I Am, a little bit about Yes I Am. It's a story that took place at one of the junior high schools I was teaching at back in 2009. And I'm not going to say the name of the junior high school, but for all intents and purposes, the name of the junior high school is Shogunai Junior High. And that's all you need to know for now. There were 2 Hafu kids in one of my first year classes I taught with Miss Betty. One was half black, the other was half white. The half black, to be precise, Nigerian kid was born in, raised in, and has never stepped foot out of Japan. He didn't speak any language aside from Japanese and knew nothing, as far as I knew, but Japan. He was brown skinned with mousy features, a button nose, tiny narrow eyes, thin lips, and topped off with a curly afro on his head. His father had been deported to Nigeria, I heard, and his mother actually got married to a Japanese man who proceeded to adopt him. I called him Webster. He was so Japanese that he looked like a Japanese kid doing a daily one-man minstrel show. I half expected to see him on the street one day without the makeup on his face. When we first met, he looked at me the way other Japanese kids did, like I was the most amazing thing he'd ever seen, and we had absolutely nothing in common. I'd experienced that reaction before, so I wasn't surprised. He was as Japanese as he'd ever be allowed to be. The other Hafu I called Kevin, because he reminded me of Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. He was tall, blonde, blue-eyed, and there wasn't much about him that indicated he was half anything. He looked like an exchange student from Norway. So
while we've got him up here and on the spot, anyone have questions? Have you been thinking of your question or just enjoying the reading? Yeah?
I was just enjoying it.
So do you want to tell us anything about the book process? Anything that has surprised you or anything you want people to know? I'll put you on the spot while they think.
Well, I started writing this book back in 2009 while I was still teaching. I was keeping, on my blog, Loco in Yokohama, I was, on a daily basis, I was writing down some of the experiences I was having in school and blogging about it. And I called it Live from Yokohama because I was pretty much doing it the same day as it occurred. And I'm very glad I did that because when I made this book, I had a diary to work from, you know. And
what about the cover? There were some interesting stories about the cover. Did you want to tell anybody about the cover?
Well, the cover art is done by the same artist who did the first book. His name is J.J. McCollum. He's a Canadian. As you can see, he's a great artist. And the cover design was done by my darling Nikki here. She's very gifted. Thank you, darling. And let's see, what else can I say about the cover?
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
If you want to.
I have a quick question about the cover. Who's the kid in your lap?
When you read the book, you will meet him. But actually, if you read the first book, you already know this guy because I introduced him in the first book. His name is Matsui.
Oh, yeah.
This is Matsui. He likes to run and jump in my arms, crazy kid. So yeah, this is it's not really his likeness, but he represents Matsui.
Yeah, but all the lives
Yeah, that's it. I hope I see the. Can't wait to read it.
put it in the cloud.
Hi.
Why is it Loco in Yokohama and not Loco in Japan or Loco in Tokyo? What's so special about Yokohama?
I like the alliteration. Loco and Yoko, but yeah.
But it's more than that because on your Instagram and everything, you really identify with where you're living in Japan, and you seem proud of not being from up here, more being from there.
I do like the feeling of Yokohama because I don't know, I'm from Brooklyn, and in Brooklyn we have this this kind of, we don't have a complex actually. We think we're better than Manhattan. we don't really think that we're second to anybody. But Yokohama has that similar feeling in relation to Tokyo. So yeah, so I do feel like Yokohama's like the Brooklyn of Japan in that way.
Baye, I love your work, I love your reading, and you're my favorite author. Not just because I used to live in the same house with you, but I really enjoy all of your writing, and I enjoy reading your books. My family enjoys reading your books. I lent your first book to my sister in LA, and I haven't been able to get it back since. Probably my grandmother's reading it by now. But I love your writing, keep up the good work, and I'm looking forward to reading all of your books.
Wow, great.
Congratulations. I can't wait to read it.
Oh, right. Hi.
Were you planning on writing your second book while you were writing your first book? Or did you mean for them to be maybe together and your first book just got really long? I got that question too.
No. I plan to make them two different books. But yeah, the first book was focused primarily on racism. At the time that I was writing the series Live in Yokohama, I was also writing the racism series on my blog. And that one, people were like, make a book. So I made a book. And but this one, I didn't really intend to make a book out of it originally. The original idea was actually a TV series or manga series, something like that. But and that's not out of the, it might still happen.
I was just gonna say, that'd be a great manga series. You could do it like that.
The new charisma man,
really cool.
It's not out of the question, so it can happen. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
As you were reading it, I could visualize that. I could see it in manga, Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Thank you.
You already know, man. I got crazy love for your first book. I love that. I love this book because it's different. I mean, it's awesome. I can't wait to read the next thing that you write. I mean, you're sitting right there. I'm talking to the camera for the future you, and I have the present you here, which will be the past you by the time that you're watching this. But I love you because you're a lovely racist person like me. And it's awesome. I love how you can always pick up the magic of any situation. You did it again with this book, and I can't wait to see the next thing. So keep it up, and let's sell you some books.
Thank you very much.
Baye, aka Loco, congratulations on your second book. I'm really looking forward to reading it. I read the first one, I thought it was really great. So I'm really excited to be reading this one. And good luck on your future endeavors. And hope all works out well for you. Alright, man. Later.
Let me jump in it. So I mean, the new book is focused on like teaching English in Japan, yeah?
The experiences, the stories in the book, the majority of them take place in the school.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't say it's about teaching in Japan.
It's like the message, it does kind of expand beyond just the school.
Yeah, it does.
Because I mean,
I like that story. It's about raising children in Japan.
That is true, for sure.
So yeah, I think I kind of get into more than just teaching, but yes.
All right. Like the first book was just so, I mean, anybody can relate to anything in that book basically. And so I was wondering, with the arena a little bit smaller, I wonder if it still had that massive like relatability to it.
I think so.
All right, well, I'm hoping. I trust you. I do trust you, so.
Yeah, I think so.
Gonna go for it, man.
Right. Let me know after you're done. All of you let me know.
I'll let you know.
Leave a review on Amazon and Goodreads, all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because we need people to know about this work, so.
Okay. What's up, man? Captain, salute you, man. I love the first book. I thought like the message was something that everybody needs to hear. Everybody. And so the words you use, like the way you put it, the way you didn't like come off as some sort of just authoritarian, like you know every damn thing. Like I think it was perfect. Like the voice you used, everything. So I just hope the second book, I hope that it can reach as many people as the first book could and possibly would. You know. So congratulations and good luck to you in the future, man.
Yeah, you got one of these?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Buy the book, everybody. Thank you.
Any other questions? Hi.
I've already asked you an hour and a half of questions, but I'll ask another one. One thing I guess I'm always thinking, well, as I was reading through the book, it was really great that you could be that descriptive about those people that you had those experiences with, and I know you switched all the names and everything, but there must be some degree of conflict about the fact that you're sharing these, and these are your own personal experiences, but they're also the personal experiences of the people in the book. How do you deal with that aspect of it? I mean, these are kind of awkward. Do they know about it? Or do you want them?
Well, you can ask a few of the students are in the room, right?
That's true.
This is true. How do you feel about it, Alvin?
5%? How do I feel about it?
Yeah, this was one of my students in the high school. So he's actually the school that. Yeah.
Must have been years ago.
Yeah, he's a grown man now. So how do you feel?
No. I would be like, whoa, this guy has great memory.
Yeah, right. I would think so. I think they would be flattered, or you know, I think they would be honored to be part of something like this. I would hope. I don't think I've embarrassed anybody.
No, I think you're both, like, one of the things that's great about both the first book and the second book is even when the situations are really difficult, and even when it's not like the, you know, the happiest thing in the world or the easiest thing in the world, it's still really done respectfully. Like, even Miss Betty in there, you give her, like, yes, she falls asleep and she's probably not like the stellar English teacher or whatever, but you still give her her due and her personality and her, you know, and I think it's not, I don't think you disregard people, so I think that's an important step. Yeah.
I'm really good at this kind of thing, but I'm really glad to be here. It was great reading. Thank you very much.
Actually, I can understand 40% of this book because my English is not enough to read completely. So I promise, I will improve my English to read it completely. Okay, thank you very much.
You know, the whole, can I jump in there? Sure. The whole time I was listening to that, I was really observant of the fact that your voice was there the whole time, but I saw you stepping into everyone's shoes for a moment as you were going through the characters and the people in the book. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know, like you were there for a moment, then back there for a moment, and then back into yourself. You know?
I think what happens is, this is funny actually, because when I was doing the series live from Yokohama, I changed all the people that I was dealing with on a daily basis into character names. So in my mind, they became this character. They were not the real person anymore. So when I'm dealing with them, I have to try to, this is a real person. Wait a minute, this is not the character I'm going to write about tonight. And then sometimes I would call them by the character name. They'd be like, who is that? Oh! And then it's, they are not the real people, but they are my interpretation of the real people. So I feel that part of me is in everyone in this book. So that's why I'm able to act it out and feel it, because it's me.
That's cool, yeah.
Cheers.
Flash them, flash both.
Oh yeah, here we go. Double. There we go.
I met Loco at the first reading. I loved his book. I felt a lot of similarities because I grew up at the same time in the same area. I started in New Jersey, but very different circumstances. And I'm looking forward to this one. I think he's a great guy.
If y'all don't follow him, most of you follow him on social media, various social media, but if you don't follow the Instagram photos, you really need to follow him on Instagram, look at the Instagram photos on Facebook because he really has a great eye, and a lot of the photos, most of the photos are from down there, from Yokohama, and it's a really good insight, I think. Although I give him a hard time. Like he hadn't come to a writers group that I run for a long time, and I was like, you need to come to the writers group. Why aren't you coming? And he's like, oh, I'm so busy with the second book, and I'm like, I just saw like 10 photos on Instagram. Like, yeah, you're so busy out taking photos and really writing. And he's like, no, I swear to God, I was editing all morning. I needed a break. I was like, right. We go back and forth on Twitter. Like, yeah, you really look like you're working
I'm not
hard.
on a photo walk, Lauren. This is like from the internet cafe to the train station. I take 10 pictures.
Actually, I got a question about that. When I see your pictures, I always think, are you using one of them Ninja Cam apps? you be all up on them girls like, you know, like.
I was wondering if
I'm gonna spray you.
I was also thinking.
This is my only weapon.
No, you're taking pictures. You see like people like kind of standing there. It's like they know.
Yeah.
I'm always curious about that, man.
This is my only camera. There's no secret mini cam.
So you don't get any weird looks when you're like.
Or do you ask for permission first?
Yeah.
He has a secret.
I told Chris the secret.
There you go.
Nah, it's a delayed sound.
So you go like that, and then just go like that.
Right, exactly. But I got this picture, so it's just a delayed sound. It's no serious, you know.
It's not like
We're gonna edit this later. It's not so
bad pictures.
I want everybody to think that I'm that guy. Nah,
So soccer pictures going on. Nah, I mean, I think none of the pictures are like too invasive, but at the same time, I just thought, wow, he's got a lot of pictures of kind of like, you know, up close. I know when I just stand close to people on the train, like they get nervous and stuff. You know, and that's not like with a camera in your hand. I would assume people be like, you know, what's this guy doing? You know, like,
it's not a camera, it's a phone.
Do they think you're making a in this age? In this, no one's falling for that in this new age.
Even if I spoil it for you reading the text, you doing your.
Okay. Are you in there? You in? Spider-Man.
He's got that act down.
Anyway, yeah, that's the trick. Delayed audio. But anyway, speaking of Instagram, there's gonna be some souvenirs when you're leaving, and I've made some specially for you guys with my Instagrams.
So you get your own, you know, train station tissues. With
each one has a different photo, so you can check them out.
And it's not advertising a health club.
No health clubs, no massage parlors. It's all.
Train right here. On the ride here. There you go. The first time I've ever been given one of these. Actually, tonight was the first time in 3 years. They gave it to me and gave me
They
one.
see you enough so they can trust you.
It's like you've got the seat on the train. I always had the tissues. It's like I was like, my nose is running. I'm dying. Please.
Give me a tissue. No, you may not have tissue.
A friend of mine that Baye actually also knows wrote a book and had a great street team campaign. And the book he wrote is called How to Be Black. And he's a comedian from The Onion. He's a guy named Baratunde Thurston. And he did a great campaign for Facebook where he asked the readers, especially his friends, the early group, to photograph themselves or other people reading the book in different locations and posting those on Facebook. Because it starts to get this buzz going, and I think it's such a great cover. And if you can get like some train shots, or you can get some people, and if you can get some of your Japanese people to have the book and take a photo and post that around, that's a really good way to get people wondering like what the deal is. And it's a nice iconic cover, so it'll show up really well. So that's your mission, okay? Choose to accept it. There you go.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap it up now for this part, but you guys hang out, have some drinks. There's more food outside. He's gonna be signing books up front, so you should get your book signed. Talk to Mickey, wave at the camera, give some messages for the YouTube video, whatever you need to do. And thank you so much for coming and for being such a brilliant writer and sharing your story. Thank you, Mickey. Thank you, Baye. Wonderful night, and I'm so excited to have my copy of the book.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Like I was like, man, you were preaching to me. I was like, what? It was like I was like right there in the bar, man. But I always loved getting into your books. You have this way of just like, I'm speaking to you in like third person. Right now. But nah, Baye has this way of just like reaching down and just saying like the thoughts that you have on your mind, but you don't really want to put them out there because you're afraid of what other people will think. Like he's just like, look, here it is, like in all of its glory, like all the cards on the table, and I love that kind of honesty in his writing. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Thank you. And, yeah.
Yo, kind of relaxed, but I'm still gonna rap. No for flipping flows, cause I do that real fast. But you wanna know about Loco? You just ask, you get the book, read about it, and you can grasp. There's a student over there. They actually came back, so that means he did a good job when he taught them in class. Check out the book. There's gonna be a lot. They probably won't last, so make sure you cop rhyming.
And that's all you need to know for now. I did pick one, just in case I did. Yeah. Omiyage, everybody's gonna get that. So this is my Instagram, so.
I didn't know you could, how did you do this?
Midtown shop. We make a left there.
It's all
fucking love it.
Yeah. Your name is Captain Super Point. Captain Super
It's been a minute. How you been? Oh, now I'm in the limelight.
Yeah, man. So, what do you think of Loco?
Actually, we didn't know.
Man, much more represent.
Hello, dude. I got represent hard, man.
Aside from Japanese and knew nothing, as far as I knew, but Japan. He was brown skinned with mousy features, a button nose, tiny narrow eyes, thin lips, and topped off with a curly afro on his head. His father had been deported to Nigeria, I heard, and his mother actually got married to a Japanese man who proceeded to adopt him. I called him Webster. Like I was the most amazing thing he'd ever seen, and we had absolutely nothing in common. I'd experienced that reaction before, so I wasn't surprised. He was as Japanese as he'd ever be allowed to be. The other half-fool I called Kevin, because he reminded me of Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. He was tall, blonde, blue-eyed, and there wasn't much about him that indicated he was half anything. He looked like an exchange student from Norway. He didn't